Lessing is a 6-star Dreadnought Guard. He's only available from the Willingstrom im Herbst event as a reward for completing various missions in the Herzgefolgen side mode, allowing the player to max pot Lessing if you complete all the relevant missions. Lessing, full name Lessing Mayer, has 6 years of combat experience, likely due to him and his family serving the Graf Urtikas as warriors. He stands 175 centimeters tall, was born on the 17th of July in Lithuanian, worked for Ebenholz, and is of the Capernae race, specifically a Marco Polo Argali. In his archive files and promotion record, it's noted that Lessing frequently visits the training grounds while Rhodes Island is docked at Lithuanian, never objecting to onlookers as he practices his brutally efficient swordplay. His tape-wrap claymore, swung with sheer precision, contrasts with the elegance expected of Lithuanian arts. Rumors claim the tape seals terrifying arts or monstrous transformation, but a sparring match proved otherwise. His arts are skilled but unremarkable, and the tape has no mystical function. In the end, it seems to serve only two purposes: to make his weapon less conspicuous and to prevent unnecessary harm. An operator once asked Lessing if he can solve a problem after an hour of drumming in a small room without noise-canceling headphones. Said operator wondered such after spying on Lessing's unusual break from his intense training routine. For half a month, he pushed himself to the daily limit, only to suddenly book an empty room where he relentlessly banged on drums, sweat-drenched and expressionless. When asked if he was stressed, he simply said this is how he thinks, relaxes, and clears his mind, meditating through deafening noise. At least two things are certain. Lessing's psychological state is fine, and, as expected, every Lithuanian can play an instrument. Lessing was born to serve the Graf Urtica, but after the Witch King's fall, his family declined under heavy surveillance. When a new Graf took power, a noble sent young Lessing to the Spire, but a contradictory edict disrupted his faith, leaving him adrift. Later, at Ludwig Universität, he was seen as a trapped beast, lashing out against oppression but never truly escaping his chains. Rescued by a professor, he became an outsider among the Liches, motionless yet reliable, silently handling tasks they avoided. His presence became an unspoken signal. When he entered the professor's office, the others knew when it was safe to follow. Though rarely he speaks, the Liches can trust him, sending him to town for supplies. His sword weighed down with bags. Now some suggest he deserves a break, to see his family of course, not just to keep the professor in check. After visiting numerous spires in Heidensfeld, Baseline found only a few willing to stay in contact, while others dismissed them upon learning their purpose. They acknowledged why Lessing remained Lithuanian with Professor Fremont, believing in Grimek's vision beyond her ties to the Liches. Perhaps one day Lithuanian would accept a single Empress of eternal grace, but her ideals should not be forgotten. Planning a visit to Lupercarn, he urged Lessing to be cautious. Urtica was too close to the sunset. In the end, they reassured him that there was nothing to fear about fate. Lessing is confirmed to be non-infected. He has a cell originum assimilation of 0%, a blood originum crystal density of 0.13 parts per liter. The notes in his medical file state that he rarely comes into contact with originum. In his character art, drawn by Kawaguchi, Lessing wears a dark blue tunic underneath a fractal patterned black overtunic with shoulder pads, white belts around his collar and on his chest, belts around his forearm and waist, white belts below his waist, dark blue pants, shin guards, black hiking boots, black gauntlets, an infection monitor on his left arm, and some pouches to his side. He holds his sword, a Zweilander, which is wrapped in white cloth and black belts, with his right hand on the crossguard. In his voice lines, voiced by Yuma Uchida, who also voices Nagisa Kiryu in Classroom Crisis, Ayn Dalton in Iron-Blooded Orphans, Nakai in Takagi-san, Iori Kitahara in Grand Blue, Yuma Kunami in Bunny Girl Senpai, Kyo Soma in Fruits Basket, Migano in Beastars, Megami Fugashiro in Jujutsu Kaisen, Kawaki in Boruto, Tim Goodman in Detective Pikachu, Castor in FGO, and Kavei in Genshin, Lessing often talks of books and music.
了解。そばにいる。少なくともドクターは、暴言を吐きながら、本を部屋中に蹴散らしたりはしないだろう。ルートビヒ大学へはただの聴講生として通ってた。じいさんの方でも俺の助けが必要なことは多かったし、あの劇場家の相手ができるのは、俺くらいだったから。別に、じいさんは歩く図書館みたいな人だったから、俺も色々と勉強になった。使い心地なんて武器に求めてない。この剣がもう一回り大きくなっても、どうにか使いこなしてみせる。楽器の弓をいくらでもオーダーメイドできるリターニアの貴族と違って、平民が手にできるのは、木の棒くらいのもんだし。人に守ってもらおうなんて甘いことも言ってられない。切らなくていい。変わった習慣の一つや二つ、誰にだってあるだろう。音楽がないと仕事ができないってのも、わからなくはないし。曲もこのままでいい。ドクターの好きな曲を俺も聴く。俺は音楽には疎いけど、ドクターのことだし。センスが悪いはずないだろ。学問を極めれば極めるほど、人は正気を失っていく。イライラするなら、手当たり次第物を投げつければいい。後で俺が片付けとくから。え？つまり、落ち着かないのは、俺がぼーっとしてるドクターを見つめてるからか。じゃあ俺は、夜飯ができたか聞いてくるよ。
At E2 level 90 with max trust and potential, Lessing has 3,882 HP, 1,129 attack, 277 defense, 0 resistance, a 70-second redeployment time, 18 DP cost, 1 block, and has a 1.5 second attack speed. His range is the standard range for a Dreadnought Guard. At max trust, he gains plus 200 HP and plus 85 attack. At max pot, he gains minus 3 DP cost, minus 10 seconds to redeploy, and a buff to his second talent. His first talent, Pain Focus, at E2, makes it so that when Lessing is blocking, he takes minus 35% less physical and arts damage from enemies not blocked by him. His second talent, Wedded with Pain, at E2 pot 4, when Lessing takes damage, he gets plus 16 attack for 15 seconds. This does not stack. Lessing has two base skills, with one being upgraded and the other unlocked at E2. His first base skill, Law of Penance, is upgraded to Law of Devotion at E2. When Lessing is assigned to a workshop to process elite material, only 3 morale is consumed, no matter the recipe. His second base skill, Lich's Teachings, when Lessing is assigned to the workshop to process elite material, he gets plus 80% byproduct rate. Lessing's first skill, Power Strike Gamma, gains SP from attacking and is automatically triggered, with all levels starting with 0 SP. Level 7 needs 3 SP to proc, while M3 needs 2. At level 7, the attack of Lessing's next attack is increased to 225%. At M3, it's 290%. His second skill, Clash of the Faithful, is passive and does not require SP at all. At level 7, when Lessing is deployed, the effect of his first talent is doubled to 70%. He also gains plus 35% attack, and his attacks become 2-hit combos. This lasts for 21 seconds. At M3, his first talent is multiplied to 77%, he gets plus 60% attack, and it lasts for 24 seconds. His third skill, Oathbreaker, gains SP over time and is manually triggered, lasting for 20 seconds at all levels. Level 7 starts with 25 SP and needs 45 SP to proc, while M3 starts with 30 and needs 40. At level 7, Lessing becomes immune to negative statuses, gets plus 80% HP, and his attacks deal 180% attack as physical damage when attacking a blocked target. This skill can only be used when Lessing is affected by a negative status. Proccing the skill removes the status and deals 600 arts damage to Lessing. At M3, it's plus 110% HP, and attacks deal 220% attack as physical damage. Lessing has two modules, starting with his DRE-X module, named Blade Seal. It makes it so that Lessing's attack is increased to 115% when attacking blocked enemies. At module level 3, Blade Seal fully upgrades Wedded with Pain, making it so that Lessing gains plus 24% attack for 15 seconds when damage is taken. He also gains plus 400 HP, plus 30 attack, and plus 30 defense. To unlock and max out all of his modules, you must have Lessing at E2 level 60, have 100% trust with him, have 12 module data blocks, 60 data patching strips, 20 data patching devices, and 300,000 LMD per module. To unlock and max out this module, you must defeat 10 elite or leader enemies with your own Lessing, 3-star stage 7-11, having your own Lessing defeat at least 2 mercenary Sarkaz fighters, have 2 crystalline electronic units, 3 D32 steels, and 4 polymerization preparations. His DRE-Y module, named Stress Test for Aesthetics, makes it so that when Lessing is defeated, he does not retreat and recovers HP instead, at the cost of minus 60% max HP, but plus 30 attack speed. This can only proc once per deployment. At module level 3, Stress Test for Aesthetics fully upgrades Pain Focus, making it so that when Lessing is blocking, he takes 40% less physical and arts damage from enemies not blocked by him. When attacking enemies blocked by him, Lessing ignores 12% of their defense. It also gives him plus 450 HP and plus 80 attack. To unlock and max out this module, you must deal a total of 120,000 damage with your own Lessing, clear Twilight of Wolamund, stage TW-5, having your own Lessing defeat at least 6 enemies, have 2 nucleic crystal centers, 3 crystalline electronic units, and 4 polymerization preparations. Lessing is very much a one-trick pony, that specifically being stalling stronger enemies or bosses. His talents allow him to not only focus on taking damage from the enemy that he is blocking by reducing damage from others, but also getting an attack buff when he does take damage. Ignoring his basic S1, his S2 is similar to Skady's S2, i.e. being a passive skill that buffs his attack, again good for stalling, with the bonus of increasing his first talent's effect, less damage from non-block enemies, and his attacks being 2 hits. The magnum opus of his skills is his S3, which gives him an edge against certain bosses who inflict status effects such as Corruption, Burn, and Freeze by removing the effect, giving him a ton of HP, and an attack buff against blocked enemies. His talents exemplify this, with his X module giving him even more damage against blocked enemies, and his Y module reviving him if he is defeated. There are a few cruxes that come with this though, the first and most obvious being the relative scarcity of bosses in most stages, or stronger enemies that you really need to stall. Sure, stalling is good, but any operator can stall, especially cheaper ones like Executor Specialists, who are cheaper to deploy and redeploy quicker, or Protector Defenders with more block and more defense. If you want to use Lessing's S2, similar to Skady's, where you can kind of make her a pseudo-fast redeploy, especially with one of her modules, you'll be waiting a full 70 seconds, if not more, between deployments, since he doesn't have a talent or module that reduces his redeploy time. Finally, with his S3, Oathbreaker, making him immune to negative status effects when it is procced, it does require him to have a negative status to even proc, as well as dealing 600 arts damage to him whenever this skill is procced. And yes, it can defeat him. Overall, Lessing can be useful, but that use is incredibly situational, not to mention how many other operators can do the same thing better, cheaper, more effectively. Low priority to build. Thank you for watching. Please follow my Twitter and Blue Sky for updates, and please check out my other Azure Lane and Girls Frontline videos as well. Come back tomorrow for next week's character and story teasers.